Topic one, what we got, Riley?
Topic one, Greg. I am going to start this segment off with a question, and that's this. What is your favorite fruit?
Watermelon.
What's your second favorite?
Probably a peach.
Number three.
I think I would go banana.
There we go. I'm glad that I got your opinion on bananas because today we are going to be talking about second bananas. I'm going to go through our favorite teams. I'm going to ask you who will be the second best player on that team this year. And I think this will yield to some interesting discussion. We might disagree who the first best player is. There might be some there's even some ambiguity where it's like the best player on some of these teams might be the first best. They might be the third best. Maybe there's a guy who feels like a safe bet to be the second best. I'm excited to see how this shakes out. Would you like me to begin?
Absolutely, I would.
G, who will be the second best player on Purdue this season?
Trey Kaufman-Renn.
How confident are you in that one?
100%.
Is
No,
there
98%.
is that 2% Omer Meyer?
1% Omer Meyer. 1% TKR is actually better than Braden.
Ooh. Wow.
It's a possibility. It's not one that I like to think about for long, but it's at least a possibility.
Can I go 90% TKR, 5% Omer Meyer, 5% Oscar Clough?
Clough. Whoa, talk to me on your Clough propaganda.
I mean, I think he's the most offensively skilled big who is available in the portal. I get there's probably some defensive concerns as there are with most Summit League transfers. But the Summit has produced some really good up transfers, whether you're looking at Baylor Shireman, Zeke Mayo. Those are only two Summit League players I can name, but let's rock with it and say that's a decent enough sample size. And Painter's had a lot of success with bigs. Whether you're looking at Zach Edey, whether you're looking at the big fella, gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Number 50, Caleb Swanigan. Like he's there's a track record you can point to with him having guys who produced at that level at that size. I don't think it's complete. Again, maybe I need to say like 7% Omer Meyer, 3% Clough, because I do really see like if there is a dominant front court player, it's gonna be TKR. But I wonder if there's a world where maybe TKR takes a little step back and Clough is like a walking double double or something who gives you 15, 16, 17 a night, something like that. Not completely out of the world of possibilities.
It could happen. I think the biggest detriment to that happening is that they're going to need Daniel Jacobson for defense because
Yeah,
my big
for sure.
question with Clough is defensively. And people know this. I'm high on Purdue. They're my number one team. They're my national championship pick for next year. I have zero reason to doubt this. I think they're awesome, and I'm screaming over Myers' praises right now. But I've been trying to wrap my brain around like, how do I nitpick this? What's my spin zone? How can I fight these guys off? And I will say, it dawned on me this week everything Purdue did this offseason helped their offense and did not help their defense. So we have no questions about how good they are offensively. They were already
Mhm.
one of the best offensive teams in the country. Their defense stunk last year. If Oscar Clough and Omer Meyer are like the big additions here, I don't know how much better they got defensively at all.
Mhm.
They're going to need Jacobson to actually play minutes at the expense of Clough or TKR. And I think they're good. Not that Meyer's a bad defender, but like Braden
Right.
Smith, Omer Meyer, Fletcher Lawyer is not a great perimeter defense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I think that's fair. I like you're the first person I've heard be that high on Clough, so that's interesting.
I'm a Clough believer. We can move on to Illinois though. Who's the Illini second best player?
It's hard because it starts with defining who their best player is, right? And
Hmm.
I guess that's Tomislav,
Oh,
I think.
in my mind it was Andrei Stojakovic, but I think it might be Tomislav who's the best.
I think I would bet on Big T being their best player, and I think I would bet on Andrei Stojakovic at two. But to me, those are the two correct answers.
Yeah, I I think I'm with you. I think Big T Stojakovic at number two. You could convince me that Petrovic could take over and be the second best after Stojakovic, but yeah, I'm a believer he'll translate. Both of them kind of have some shooting concerns, but I think I'll give a slight edge to
I
Stojakovic.
think it would be a good thing if Petro was one of their top
Hmm.
two players. That would be advanced upside for me. And I think a lot of Illinois fans would put Kylan Boswell as the second best player on this team, but
Wow.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think it's either Petrovic or Stojakovic. Michigan State.
Oh man. Are you one of those people that thinks Cohen Carr is the best player on the team?
I am not.
Okay. Then he's in my mix here. But to me, it's got to be Fears and Kohler, I think. I actually think Fears will be the best player on this team, so I'm going to put Kohler second.
Those are my top two. I have Kohler number one just because we've at least seen flashes where he was really dominant. I thought he improved a ton as a rebounder last year, and I think that was huge for Michigan State's identity. I think he could take, I mean, he doesn't really have a choice other than to take another leap offensively. He's got to become like a 15-point per game scorer. If he's giving you 15 and 9, let's say, I think he's probably the best player. So I have Fears at number two.
Don't hate that whatsoever. But we're very aligned on the top two duos right now.
Yeah, I know. With Fears, so I actually did a Riley Everyday video on this that came out on Thursday. I went back and watched Fears FIBA U17 World Cup clips from like 2022. When he was healthy, he looked like Jeremiah when he got in the lane.
Chill,
And
chill,
he had really good
chill.
bursts that I'm like, there's a chance here. So let's move on to your team,
There's
Michigan.
also a chance that like Saturday Night Live hires me and I have a career pivot in my 30s, right? Like, yeah, there's a chance. This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's. That's New
New
York.
York. Well,
Bang.
that's New Jersey.
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of Colorado.
Is that this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video. Come on, dog.
Fair. All right, Michigan. Who's Michigan's second best player?
Oh! At least we know who the best player is here. God, there's so many guys I would actually listen to for this. Like I think it could be Merez. I think it could be Cadeau. I think it could be Kaysen. And I honestly think it could be McKinney. And no one's really talking about it. I heard he's been killing in practice. But I will put my money where my mouth is and say it's Merez Johnson.
One name you didn't mention is making me think I'm out of line for highly considering this and maybe, just maybe, even putting this name in my notes. Ade Mara.
He's the cut. I drew the cut right ahead of him. But there's a world where Dusty just gets him to do all the Vlad things, and Yaxel makes him look awesome the same way Wolf made Vlad look awesome. Like it could happen.
To me, when you're thinking of the upside, which there's a world where like, I mean, Merez really could just be mini Vlad. Vlad gave you some floor stretching ability. Like Vlad can play on the perimeter a little bit. I'm just saying mini Vlad in terms of great hands and dunks everything, takes up space on defense. With Mara, I just like the upside with him being bigger, with him having some of the passing flashes that would make me kind of want to bet on him to be the one who Dusty truly unlocks. And Merez is a bench big who fills a role, albeit an important one, but more of a role player than like the second go-to guy on the team.
I see what you're saying. I totally get it. I get it. All right.
Kentucky.
Oh! This one's hard for me.
Do you have OA first?
I have OA1. I think I'm going to say Jalen Lowe, and I think Kentucky fans are going to be really mad at me for not saying Quaintance.
Quaintance was the one I went to. Of course, there's the injury concerns, but I'm seeing him like a top 5 pick in 2026 mock drafts. And I like that he's at least already on the court in workout videos.
I've said it before. I cannot get there with that. I can't get there with that. I don't think there's anything freakish about a 6'9" center that requires being like a guaranteed top 10 pick. He's obviously a great defensive prospect, but he's 6'9". He
Mhm.
averaged 9 and 7 in 30 minutes a game last year on a really shit team. And I get he was playing seven, like he could be good. Mark Pope's going to use him well, no doubt. He's a skilled guy. That's the one that has confused me most of like he's on mock drafts. He's a 6'9" center that
Yeah.
can't even score 10 a game right now. Why? I'm confused by it, you know?
I think a lot of it's the high school pedigree and the youth. I mean, he was what 17 last year. People are banking that as he gets older and matures and gets better talent around him, there's a leap to be made.
He
I
shot
don't
eight.
hate.
He shot 18% from three and shot over one attempt a game last year. And the NBA is like, yes. Like, what?
I like the low shot for what it's worth. I think he's a little slept on. Just, I mean, he played. Can't say I watched a ton of Pitt last year. I know his numbers on the year were not good from those percentages, but the times I did watch him, he impressed.
I think he was really dynamic. I think Pope's going to get the best out of him. And
Yeah,
I'm just more confident in the production than I am with acquaintances.
for sure. Moving on to my team, UNC.
I got Trimble as the best. Trimble's not even going to appear in your two names. I'll buy your propaganda and say that Luka Bogovac is second.
Luca was my number two as well, but I had Caleb Wilson one, which
It's
I
so
know is
disrespectful to Seth.
I love Seth, but Seth is he's not Caleb Wilson.
Shiny new toy. That's the game you're playing right now. You have two shiny new toys, and they're going to be Ian and Drake, and hopefully they stay and are really good or go to the league.
Greg, I was playing with hand-me-down Legos last season, and you're expecting me to not gravitate to the shiny new toys? Of course I'm going to.
I know,
Would
but
you watch your
Seth's
team?
good. I'm telling you, you're going to have to come to terms with the fact that he's going to be awesome this year.
We'll see. We'll see. Duke.
Oh, man.
I feel very strongly about my number two, and I'm going to make the case, but I'm curious to see where you go.
I think it's just got to be Isaiah Evans.
I would say Isami Damesar.
I'm not a SAR guy, but
I
he's
know you're
probably
not
my
because
answer for three.
so with Evans, I think Sarr is just going to be a better version of Isaiah Evans because he can do. If you watch the Isaiah Evans tape last year, it's almost all step in threes. Like he does a little bit of the movement shooting, spot up in transition, but he didn't really shoot inside the arc. I don't know if I buy him as a shot creator. I think Sarr can do a lot of the contested 3-point making, like give you a lot of the same like contested 3-point makes that Isaiah Evans did, but he's just way more dynamic with the ball in his hands. He's a better defender. And again, if you want to look at the competition he's played, I think he played in, I want to say 12 EuroLeague games, 15 games in the top domestic league in Spain, and like saw real minutes there to where I just don't really question how it'll translate to the ACC. Yeah, I think he's a lot of the people in our circle who are working in the industry view him as more prospect than player right now. But I don't know. I think from what I've watched of him, he can do a lot of the Isaiah Evans stuff with a more well-rounded game. I think Evans settles into that number three option.
I don't hate it. I thought you were going to throw a Kamini a shout here because he's looked really good with Team USA, and I think
Mhm.
that's my fears. I don't doubt Evans is going to be on the floor a bunch this year. I think there's a world Kamini like beats out Sar or takes minutes from
Mhm.
him, but
Mhm.
they're loaded, man. They're always going to be good.
Yeah, moving on to UConn.
I'm not going to overthink this one. I think it's Caravan.
Oh man, there's a lot of options here.
I
I
think
was kind of
somebody that's not Caravan will become like primary, whether that's Ball or Demery or someone, and Caravan is just too well rounded that he can't fall worse than the second best player on the team, you know?
Yeah, I think you sold me on Caravan. I was ready to say Demery and that Ball's the best, but actually I think there's a world where Demery is the best, just that he thrives as the lead guard in that system. But
Me too.
Caravan feels like a really safe bet to be. He feels like the safest bet to be number two. I'll say, even though
He's the
he.
guy you have to lock in because like he's not good enough to be the number one, but this team
Mhm.
finally has enough that someone's going to be the number one, and Caravan's just way too good of a number two, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, like that.
BYU.
Oh. AJ DeBonsa is the second best player on BYU.
Oh, I kind of wanted to go there, but I'm sticking with Saunders. I'm like, I'm not overthinking this with how good the band's supposed to be.
I will say, if you are watching the World Cup this week and you're a Richie Saunders believer like I am, what Michael Brown is looking like is what Richie Saunders could look like at BYU next to AJ. And there's going to be a lot of games that AJ is bored and Richie is going to get his 30. I think that could happen.
Let's close it down with Indiana.
um, I'm so mean to Indiana. It's so fun for me right now. Are we saying Wilkerson is number one?
You know what? I originally said Wilkerson was number one, but it's gonna be Tuck. We got a little, it's a little nepotism coming to Bloomington. Tuck is the number one.
You're probably right. Let's go Wilkerson too. That feels right.
Yep.